Hello everyone, this is Easy Natural English with Liam. So as usual, I'll be speaking to you in natural English that's a bit easier so you can get used to English in a natural way. And today I want to talk to you a bit about buying fruits and vegetables. Just because today I went to a local grocery store or a local greengrocers. So a shop that sells produce, and produce usually means fresh food. And in this case, I mean vegetables and fruits. So today I went to this store. It's not quite I wouldn't quite say it's a supermarket. It's kind of just a local store or a local shop. And I was very excited because, that's me. I get excited about things like fruits and vegetables. I had been to this shop before, but I went there quite a long time ago. And it's actually close to my house or close to my apartment, but it's on a road that I usually don't drive down. So I don't think about going there. I don't usually pass that road. And so I kind of forget that this shop is there. But today we were passing this shop and we said that perhaps we should take a look. When I say we, that means me and my wife. So we took a look in the shop and my wife and I were both saying to each other, like, why don't we come here? We live so close. Why don't we come here more often? And the reason we are very excited is because they have a really good range of fruits and vegetables, and also the prices are really good, and they have some things that sometimes can be either hard to find in Japan or are quite expensive in Japan, like for example courgette. So in the UK we call it courgette. In America they call it zucchini. It's a long vegetable. It's a type of gourd. And it's used in things like pasta or ratatouille or lots of delicious nice vegetable-based foods. But normally courgette or zucchini, like when I was living in Tokyo and I wanted to buy this vegetable, it's very expensive. Also in the supermarkets in Okinawa, sometimes the price can be the same as the mainland of Japan, but it's usually a bit cheaper, but kind of similar because the supermarkets are usually chains or franchises and they have the same prices. But when you go to these local stores, they usually have local Okinawan vegetables, things that are grown here. So it's usually cheaper. And of course, if it's grown here, that's good because it supports the local economy. It's also better for the environment because if you're buying vegetables from far away, of course it takes a lot of energy to deliver them to you. Lots of emissions from the trucks or even the boats or the airplanes if it comes from another country. So it's good to buy local vegetables, and they're usually cheaper and they're actually usually more delicious as well. Actually, recently I've been listening to a podcast by Japanese farmers. And they were a guest on someone else's podcast, on a newspaper podcast in Japan. And the host asked the farmer which vegetables are the most delicious. And he said the cheapest ones, because the cheapest ones are usually the ones in season. In season means that is the period of the year when they are growing abundantly or when they are growing a lot. And those ones are usually going to be the more delicious ones. So usually cheapest vegetables are going to be in season, and they're probably also local vegetables or local fruits. So they're going to be fresher. So anyway, today, we went to this shop and we got some courgettes or zucchinis. So courgette, British English, zucchini American, also Australians say zucchini as well. And then we got some chard, which is like a type of green leafy vegetable. Also some kale, which is another type of leaf, like a green leafy vegetable. And actually kale is quite popular at the moment, so it's also usually very expensive, especially here in Japan. In the UK or in Europe, it's not too bad because it is very popular at the moment. It's kind of considered this like special health food. Sometimes people say super food, which just means it has a lot of vitamins or minerals or fiber or something that's good for you. So I think kale has a lot of minerals. It's very dark green color, and usually dark green vegetables are good for us. But kale in Europe is not too bad because, for example, in the UK, where I'm from, traditionally kale was actually food for animals. So it was like horse food, or for cows or things like that. So it was grown not for humans to eat, but just for the animals. So it was really considered a very kind of common, not a very desirable, not something that people really wanted to just give it to animals. But at some point, it suddenly got a lot of interest as a very healthy vegetable. And, now if you go into like a trendy, expensive kind of health food restaurant, they'll be doing, kale juice and kale smoothies and kale salads and kale everything. So it's become very popular. The best way that we like to cook it is you put just a tiny bit of oil, and then if you put it in the oven, at the moment we have an air fryer, so we use the air fryer, but you can put it in an oven or an air fryer and bake it, and it becomes very crispy. And you just put a bit of salt, and then when you eat it, it's like eating potato chips or crisps, as we'd say in the UK. It's another word that's different between America and the UK. What they call potato chips in America, we would call crisps in the UK. And if you bake kale, it has the same texture, which is crispy, which is why we call them crisps in the UK. So it's very crispy. It doesn't taste like you're eating some boring vegetable. It tastes like a nice snack, but it's also quite healthy. So yeah, kale. So kale's quite popular these days, but in Japan, it's not really a traditional vegetable. So it's really expensive. Actually, sometimes when I see it in the supermarket, I feel like they're joking because the price is so crazy. And, usually when you buy it in the UK, you get a huge bunch, which is just like a bunch of flowers. You get a huge, like many leaves of kale, a big old bunch. You can barely fit it in your basket, and it will cost, £2 or something like that, £3 maybe. But here in Japan, they pack it they take maybe 3 or 4 tiny leaves and put it in a plastic bag, and then ask you for lots of money for just this tiny amount that, is not even enough for one meal. So it's very crazy. That's like in the supermarkets. But, I was talking about this vegetable shop earlier. There they were selling it in a big bunch, and it was a much better price. It was 250 yen for a big bag, and 250 yen is about $2.50. So it's not quite as cheap as in the UK, but it's a pretty good price for something that is usually very expensive. So yeah, this store, we're very happy about going there today, and we're definitely going to have to go back to buy more vegetables soon. Actually, I said I was going to talk about buying fruits too. I haven't really said much about fruits, but recently in Japan, strawberries are in season. So we've been buying a lot of strawberries, but again, also very expensive compared to the UK. Actually, in Japan, a lot of fresh produce like fruits and vegetables, especially fruits, are really expensive compared to European prices. Like in the UK, when it's the season for strawberries, you can buy 2 big punnets. So punnets are like the tubs that they put things like strawberries and grapes and blueberries in. You can buy 2 big punnets of strawberries for like £2 or something, which is about which is like $3, so about 300 yen. Whereas in Japan, for 300 yen, you couldn't even buy a small pack of strawberries. So yeah, the price is very, very different. I think in Japan, perhaps people focus too much on the appearance of the fruit. So when you buy fruit in Japan, if you get strawberries, they'll all be perfectly shaped strawberries. So perhaps the farmer has to work very hard to get them all to be perfectly shaped. Whereas in the UK, they just think about the flavor and they don't think so much about the shape. So when you buy strawberries, you'll have big ugly ones and little small ones, lots of shapes, lots of sizes, but they'll all be delicious. And then they can be much cheaper because the farmer doesn't need to, look after every single strawberry. They can kind of just be a bit more like rough maybe in the way they're farming. I don't really know, but for some reason, they're much cheaper in the UK. So anyway, yeah, that's about all I have to say about fruits and vegetables today. Thank you all very much for listening. If you're on YouTube, don't forget to like, subscribe, comment. If you're on the podcast, review and follow. If you'd like to take a lesson with me, there is a link in the description of the video on YouTube and also in the description of the podcast. If you'd like to support my channel, there's also links to Patreon and Buy Me a Coffee. So you can help me out. You can send me a tip and say thank you for making these videos. But anyway, thank you all very much for listening or watching today, and I'll see you all back here next time.